Class. Today we're going to be talking about language barrier discrimination. Imagine coming into a whole new environment full of new opportunities, ready to work hard but every day. Your accent or that imperfect English makes people assume you're less capable or intellectual. You get talked over and you can't manage yourself. Many around different communities, including immigrants, refugees, or non-English speakers, would face this kind of discrimination, not because of their work ethic, but simply because how they speak. I spent the last 24 hours researching language barrier discrimination in workplace, environment, education, healthcare. Heard firsthand stories from family and seen the real bump in people's lives. Language barrier discrimination is serious these days, can even be overlooked problem that can harm a person professional and socially. We must work to dismantle this. First, I'll explain this problem. Second, I'll discuss the common counter statement and why they fall short. Third, I'll propose a call to action to what we can individually, collectively create this. Let's start by understanding the problems. Psychological impact. People with limited English often would experience mental distress. For example, one study showed that English ability is directly connected to psychological distress among Latinos and Asians from the PMC NCBI. According to that research, discrimination based on his language ability is compounds for other stressors, including everyday psychological burdens. Most cases, family members serve as interpreters, but this raises confidentiality and accuracy issues. According to the study's BMC, language barrier don't just hurt people at work. They can be matter of health and safety. Immigrants with limited English speakers found that poor language ability can be delayed from care from people who don't understand what they say, leading to miscommunications. But the problem is even bigger than individual experiences. Language-based discrimination in virtual workplace, the discrimination is more subtle, but initial. Migrant professionals in study describe how virtual shadow meetings in their native language excluded from their decision makings from the science direct. Researchers said. People who speak non-standard dialects or non-native accents are often devalued. This reinforces social inequalities. Those who speak more prestigious versions of a language gain more power and opportunity. Companies sometimes host separate meetings in different languages, which non-native speakers miss out on. Schools may place students in lower classes not because of their intelligence, but because of their accent. Even government offices lack translation services, making services harder to access. And even beyond, there is a deeper cultural problem. We often treat one version of English, usually the standard accent-free version, as superior. This creates a bias. Moreover, language-based discrimination is recognized legally and ethically. Scholars note that employers' policies restricting language can be discriminating. Clearly, the language barrier discrimination is real, harmful, and often insidious. So what can we do? Opposing viewer 1. It's not because discrimination we made, just clear communication. Communication can be supported with training translation tools, but assuming someone is incompetent because of their accent is discrimination, not practically. People should just learn English. Reality. Learning a new language takes years, and people still deserve dignity while they're learning besides initiatives. Also having responsibility to support their diverse populations. Opposing view 3, accent confuse people. Research shows that people who often judge accents within seconds long before comprehension is even tested. The problem is bias, not comprehension. So if the problem is really happening, what can we do about it? Imagine a community where language differences are treated as strengths, not weaknesses, where workplaces offer translation services, school values, and hospital always provide interpreters, where accent doesn't determine someone's opportunities. The world is absolutely possible. Push for translation services at your job. That's what you should do. Speak up when someone's being dismissed because of their accent. A simple let them finish or they're making a good point can change the room. Now let's finish this. Language barrier discrimination often affects mental health, professional opportunities, and even medical care. It is rooted in bias, not practically, but it continues because people fail to recognize it. You can help change this by speaking up, promoting translation resources, and actively supporting linguistic inclusion. Remember, a person who moved here for full hope only to be judged for the sound of their voice. The next time you meet someone with an accent, remember their accent is a story, not a sign of poorness.